Start with 20 cheer jumping jacks. Okay, now that we've done our cheer jumping jacks, I'm gonna do a little bit more just to make sure I'm nice and warm. I don't pull anything, so I'm gonna do 30 seconds of high knees and then 30 seconds of butt kicks. And lastly, for our warm-up, I'm gonna do 30 mountain climbers and then 15 jump squats. Now that our muscles are all nice and warm, we can start with a basic stretch. Go into a pike, feet together, point the toes, reach up as tall as you can, and try to touch your nose to your knees, keeping your legs nice and straight. And we're gonna hold this one for 30 seconds. Okay, now we're gonna move into a straddle. Go as wide as you can. Again, point your toes, reach up and belly down to the floor. Reach out as far as you can in front of you, holding for 30 seconds. Now we're gonna reach to one side, nose to your knee. Try to touch the top of your foot. And switch to the other side. Okay, now we're gonna go back to the middle, pushing our legs out as we go down with our hands to get a deeper stretch than before. Perfect, okay. Now let's go into a lunge, whichever leg you want. One leg forward, pushing to get a nice deep stretch through our hip. Good, now one thing I like to do is to stretch out or push my knee this way to stretch my glute. And now we're gonna straighten our front leg and nose to our knee, going as far as you can till you feel a stretch in your hamstring. Good, and then we're gonna slide down to our splits, going as far as you can till you feel a stretch or you're all the way down. I like to put my hands up for 10 seconds before I come out. Good, and we'll switch legs. Other leg lunge, and you're just gonna repeat the same thing that we just did on that side to the other side. Once you're done repeating that on the other side, you can come out and we're gonna go into a froggy next to stretch out our middle splits before doing our middle splits. Once you've held that for about 20-30 seconds, you can push back into your middle splits and hold those for 30 seconds as well. Last one we'll do is to stretch your back. I call this one mermaid. And you can start laying down and then push up as far as you can until you feel it stretching in your back. So now that we just finished our basic stretching out our full body, I'm gonna move into stretching my heel stretches. And the first thing I'm gonna do for that is my overextended splits, and I'm gonna be using the edge of my couch right here. And you guys can use a stool if you have some like yoga blocks or a chair, anything to raise your leg on. So I'm gonna start with my right leg up on the couch and I'm gonna hold it for 1 minute and 30 seconds. And then for the last 30 seconds, I'm gonna be putting my hands up onto the couch to get a little bit deeper the stretch for the last little bit. So in total, I'm gonna hold it for 2 minutes and then switch to the other side. So one thing I like to focus on when I'm doing this is that I'm just putting the edge of my heel on the block, as if I put my whole leg on, it won't push me down as much and I won't get as far as a stretch as I could. For the last 30 seconds, like I said earlier, I'm gonna put my hands up on the couch on either side of my foot. And same thing as when we're holding it with our hands down, try not to resist yourself and push yourself back up. You wanna use this to bring the momentum down. And once your 30 seconds is up, you can come out and make sure to shake out your legs, keep them moving because you feel a little sore at first. And then we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Good, and come out and same thing, shake out your legs. Whew. Okay, good. So next we're gonna move into one more stretch where we're gonna be in our splits, and this one we're gonna be reaching forwards to stretch our heel stretches again, and then backwards to start stretching our back for their scorpions, arabesques, and scales. So this one, you're gonna go into your splits on the floor, and we're gonna reach forwards for 30 seconds, one hand on either side. Go in as low as you can. Your goal is to try to get your face to touch your shin pretty much. And we're gonna hold this for 30 seconds. And then after that 30 seconds is up, we're gonna reach backwards. And now we're gonna reach backwards. For this one, you can either reach with your hands on the floor, so you're a little bit more stable, or you can reach up above your head and lean backwards, while also putting your head backwards to get a little bit deeper of a stretch. Same thing, hold for 30 seconds. Good. Okay, so that's one round, and I usually do 3 rounds in total on each leg. So I'm gonna do 2 more rounds, so 2 more of each, forwards, backwards, and then switch to the other side and do 3 more rounds on the other side. So the next stretch I'm gonna be doing is for front stretches, and then the other variation is gonna be for bow and arrows. So the first thing you're gonna do is lay down on your mat with one leg out straight, and you want it pointing up towards you, so it's flexed. You're gonna lay down on your back, bringing one leg up, pointing the top one, and you're gonna grab your foot, kind of like a hamburger, so one hand on each side of your foot, bringing your leg up as far as you can towards your face. And for this one, you wanna make sure you're bringing it right up to the side of your ear. And I'm gonna hold this for 30 seconds and then switch to the other side. Once you're done for 30 seconds, let go of your legs slowly, and then we'll switch to the other side. Okay, so now that we have stretched both of our leg front stretches, now we're gonna do the same thing, stretching our bow and arrow. Laying back down onto your back, and now you're gonna be holding your one foot with one arm, just as you would a bow and arrow, and then pulling your arm through. So it's basically a bow and arrow, but you're laying on the floor instead to stretch it out. So we're gonna put one leg down, flat again. This one's gonna come up. You're gonna reach across, so your opposite arm to your opposite leg, grabbing the outside of your foot, bringing it to the side by your ear, and then if it's all the way, you can punch your arm through. If it's not, just bring it as far as you can without punching your arm through. But if you can bring it far enough, you can bring your arm through and hold your bow and arrow position, really using your arm strength to pull your leg to your ear as far as you can. Good job. Once you've done that leg, we're gonna switch, do the same thing on the other leg. So I'm gonna be using this little wall and counter to stretch in, and you guys can use any door frame in your house, really any setup that works, kind of like this one. You just need something to lean on and put your leg up against. And I'm also taking off my shoes so I don't scuff the walls. My socks on, so I kind of slide up the wall nicely. You're gonna put your hands on your counter or your wall, so it'll be up here. And your bottom leg, right, I like to put mine right against the wall. So I know you can't see it because it doesn't go all the way down, but my heel is touching the wall, and I'm gonna try to keep a nice straight leg with my bottom leg and inch my top leg up. Try to get my hips flat against the wall, and then push up as hard as you can. I like using this ledge because I can lean against it, or the wall. Sometimes I tend to slip. So really lucky to have this ledge in my basement. But I'm gonna hold this for 1 minute and then switch to the other side and do the same thing. Okay, and once it's been 1 minute, you can come out. And I always like to reverse my stretch, especially when I'm stretching out my back. So I'm just gonna touch my toes to round my back out nice and slowly. And then come up. And now I'm gonna be doing the other side. Same thing, hold for 1 minute, and then we'll come out and touch your toes again. So those are usually all the stretches that I do on my daily kind of stretching routine. So now I'm gonna put my shoes back on, as I find it's easiest to do with this with shoes on. And I'm gonna be working the muscles that I use to pull each body position. So I'm gonna really be working my hip flexors, and then also my back muscles for my arabesque. So before we begin our kicks, I'm gonna show you what I do with my feet, as that is really important to get the most out of it. So I start with my feet together, hold on to my ledge, and when I'm kicking, I focus on kicking right from where my feet are together. So kicking straight up from there, instead of doing a back swing to kick. This way we're working more of our hip flexor muscle instead of just using momentum to kick. So once again, feet together and then straight up from there. Same thing when we're going backwards and to the side as well. I like to do my kicks where I can hold onto something, whether that's a chair, a wall, or a ledge. I'll be using this ledge because it's kind of where my arm height would be, and I'm not gripping onto it really tight. I'm just there so I can stay nice and stable, and I'm gonna be doing front kicks first. So I'm just gonna be holding onto the ledge, kicking up as high as I can, right next to my ear. So right up in front, so fast up, and then slower down. Fast, slow, and I'm gonna do 10 on this side, and then 10 on the other side. Okay, now that we've done our front kicks, I'm gonna turn to the side, hold the ledge again, and I'm gonna kick up to the side for our bow and arrow, so right up to where my ear is. 10 on each side. And once we're done our side kicks, I'm gonna kick to the back, and the first back kick I'm gonna be doing is with the straight leg. So I'm gonna hold my ledge, making sure when I'm holding the ledge, I'm keeping my chest up and not leaning down, as when we're hitting our arabesque, we wanna keep a nice chest up, try not to lean. Once we've done 10 kicks of those on each side, we're gonna do another back kick. Feet together again, kick up, and then bend it at the top. Now that we've done our kicks, we've both stretched all the muscles we need and worked the muscles we need for all of our body positions. So now I'm gonna get going to practicing those body positions. So first I'm gonna start with my heel stretches on both sides. And I'm gonna kick up my heel stretch right next to my ear. So it's as close as we can in front of your face. We wanna try to not bring it out to the side. So same thing when we're practicing our kicks, straight up, and then now you're gonna catch your foot on the outside. And one thing I always focus on when I'm practicing my shapes is to be nice and sharp. I know you're just practicing them, but I found it really helped me to build the muscle memory. So when I'm up in the air, it comes naturally. I'm gonna do 5 on each side, and then I'll switch to a different body position. Okay, now that we've done our heel stretches, I'm gonna move on to a front stretch. So that's sort of the same thing as a heel stretch, but now I'm gonna grab my foot with 2 hands. I'm gonna grab mine a little bit lower and then pull it up on a separate count as high as I can, and then clean from there. And one tip I have for front stretches is when you're pulling your leg up, if your bottom leg starts to bend like this as you're pulling your leg up, that usually means you've gone a little bit too high. So I'd back off a little bit, bring your leg a little bit lower so you can keep both legs nice and straight. The next body position I'm gonna be doing is bow and arrow. So there's a few different ways to do these. When I kick my leg up, I'm gonna grab it with my opposite hand, and I just rest my other hand here so it's not in the way. Grab it and then punch my other hand through. Lots of other people grab it with 2 arms and then punch through. So I'll show you both ways, and then I'll do 5 on each side again. So the first way is how I normally do them, grabbing one hand and then punching through. And then the other way to do them, so kind of like I grab it like a front stretch if I was doing it this way, pull through, and then clean. So I'm gonna do 5 on each side and then move on to arabesques. The next body positions I'm gonna be doing are 2 of the back body positions. First, I'm gonna be doing arabesques and then scales. So first off with the arabesques, a little tip is same thing if in our kicks, when we go into it, our arms are in a T, and when we lift our leg up, we want to keep our chest up as well. So I think about lifting my chest up and leg up to go into like a little V shape. We want to be the tightest V we can. So chest up and leg up as high as we can, instead of thinking this shape. So leg up and then chest down. So lifting both at the same time. Once we're done our arabesques, I'm going to move on to my scales. And same thing, 5 on each side. And a little tip I have for these ones is when we're going into our scales, grab our ankle, and if you want to grab lower down to your calf, that makes it a little bit